so good. It's so... it's so good! Hello, my name is Kerriath, and today we are going to take a look at the reveals for The Dead and the Divine. I've just finished watching the stream. Technically, I actually watched Mikey from Hellstorm Wargaming streaming the stream, like him talking over it. It was actually a very enjoyable experience. Liked it a lot. They got some interesting stuff shown off this time. There's some absolute corkers in here, and some things that I think will probably be slightly divisive. So, let's just dive straight in. The first thing that we saw was 40k related, and it was for the Sisters of Battle. So as they say, last year, Adeptus Sororitas received a fully updated range, including iconic units released in plastic. Now they've got something that is not an iconic unit. Well, it sort of could be based off an iconic unit, but it's not necessarily iconic in the way that you might want it to be. So, this is the Paragon Warsuit, right? Now you can see in the thumbnail for that video, which, music, no, is interesting. Let's take a look. So this is the Paragon Warsuit, and I have mixed feelings on this, okay? I have mixed feelings. The idea of a Sisters of Battle-like mech suit, I'm all on board. Of course I am. You know me at this point. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you will know that I've got a thing for the old mech sort of approach to stuff. On that basis, I quite like this. However, we do already have something quite similar to this in the form of the Nemesis Dread Knight, and I will say that at this point I've seen this particular thing referred to as the Babe Carrier, the Nemesis Dread Light, and the Nundam. All excellent names, fantastic names. I'm in about 18 different minds as to this. I like the idea of it a lot. I really do, genuinely. There's just a few things that aren't quite how I personally would want them. And of course, this is all my opinion. You may well disagree. I actually really like the overall setup of it. Apart from the lack of helmet, look, I'll just say it. I'll say it right now. I'll throw it out there. The lack of helmet bothers me. It bothers me on normal troops. It bothers me on Terminators. It definitely bothers me on this. She's like fully armoured at the front. She's super well protected around the chest, neck, and stomach. Like the midriff is pretty well covered. There's a little bit of flexibility there, but it's not glaring. It's not massive. It's not like target me unarmoured. Why has she not got a helmet on? Put your hat on, love. Just do it. Just put your hat on. I actually like the setup of the legs. That looks really cool. For me, it's pretty clear that her legs go into the top part of those legs. Like maybe the feet are like in the knees or something, or close to that. It's a little bit tricky to tell. The dimensions feel a little bit off, but it's not inconceivable. Like it feels, to be honest, similar enough to the Dread Knight that I can see where her legs would be. And again, I much prefer this approach of at least partially enclosing the pilot instead of just having a harness, certainly like a baby carrier. This is a much better approach. The arms are perhaps a little skinny for my liking. It's obviously been done because this is more of it's still a giant mech suit, but it's more of a feminine thing, I think, is what the aim is. Like, the legs are still quite slim and very deliberately shaped. When you look at, like, the shins and the calves of this thing, it's not bulky. It's very finely made, and intentionally so, to mirror the overall look of the Sisters of Battle as a whole. And as such, I think that's probably why the arms are a little on the skinny side. But the upper half of this thing, and the legs, despite being, quite well formed or quite well shaped, it's still bulky. So the legs still look relatively bulky compared to the sister that's strapped in. The shoulders are really broad and look heavily armoured. The actual main body of this thing is also pretty chunky. Does have some nice parallels with the Penitent engine as well, this. The overall shape of this thing, it's got the same kind of arch approach at the top of the carapace that the Penitent engine has, which is a nice touch. But it means that the kind of robotic arms just look that little too slim to my eye. Now, you could probably bulk them out with things like cables and stuff, which would make it look a bit more rugged, but I think would add a little bit of volume, a bit of depth to them. Overall, I have to admit, I really like the idea of it. I really do. I think if she had a helmet on, that would vastly improve it for me. The setup with the arms controlling her arms controlling the robot arms, looks feasible enough. It looks reasonable enough. But yeah, it's a tricky one because I do like it, but there's like multiple little things that I'd just like to be done slightly differently, and it is surprising to see. To be honest, I've kind of wanted something like Citizens Battle Terminators for forever because that would be a really cool thing to see. I have never even considered the idea of them having something like the Dread Knight. It's obviously nowhere near as tall as well. By the way, this is not of the same scale as the Dread Knight. It's a lot smaller. I just never really thought of Sisters as having something like this, which is not to say that if you don't think of it, then it shouldn't happen, but it's just a bit out of left field, you know? It's not something I've ever really considered. But I think overall, it does get it gets like 80% of the seal of approval. There's just things that I would have loved to be a little bit different. We'll say as well, what looks like... No, it's not. She's got a multi-melter on one arm, power sword on the other, on the shoulders. I'm not entirely sure what those are. Oh, hang on, heavy bolters? Possibly some sort of heavy bolter. It might be some sort of, like, heavy bolt storm cannon, or something, named something like that. It's most likely that, because there's a little hole on each side of the barrel as well as, like, where the bullet comes out, obviously. So it'll be some sort of bolter-style weapon. But if we go back up, you can clearly see that one has got... that one's got missile launchers. That's a better one. That's better. The one in that thumbnail there, better, in my view. The head is helmeted, which adds to the overall look of it, makes it look far more interesting and far more, like, more feasible. The rocket launchers being on there, I think, look way better than the bolter things. It looks like there's some sort of hammer type thing as well going on there as well. That one actually looks way better than this one to me. But overall, I think I like it. Just things that I'd like to see tweaked in some way, which obviously they can't do now because it's made. But you could do, possibly, if you wanted to. Now, next up, we've got stuff for Kill Team. Now, we've seen most of these. So we've got the Gravis Captain, and we've got the Heavy Intercessors, which I still really like. I know it's more Primaris. Well, I say it's more Primaris. It's the same Primaris we've already seen, so I don't know if that really counts as more. At least we know how some of these things are actually getting, to us. It's in the form of a new Kill Team box, which is Primaris versus Necrons. The Heavy Intercessors still look good. I still like them. They're chunky, they're beefy, they've got girth, and they've got massive guns. What more do you want? What more do you want? They just look decent to my eye. Same as the Gravis Captain. Gravis Captain also looks good. Although I will say having two Gravis Captains in a row that are only available in boxes, along with a bunch of other stuff and not independently available, is kind of gash, to be honest. Not great. I would have liked to have seen at least one of them be out in just a box. Unless the Dark Imperium one is now? I don't think it is. I don't remember seeing it. Anyway, Necron side of things, we've got this lad with the massive long chin. Still a great model. Still creepy. Still weird. Just what a bizarre squid-looking freak with his cubes and his. The chin is so long. Flayed ones though. This is the bit that I care about. This is the bit I like the most. Proper, like classic style flayed ones. Loved them when we first saw them. Love them now. And now we know we're going to get them. New Kill Team starter set. Be interesting to see how much it is. I'm assuming buying it will give you some savings as opposed to when these things come out separately, which. Obviously, it won't be for a little while probably if they're in the Kill Team box, but yeah, they still look grand. So as you can see, you get your Gravis Captain, you get your Chronomancer, your Heavy Intercessors, and your Flayed ones. 48 pieces of Necron terrain, which sounds very impressive, but it's some doors and some power core things, and that's it. The board does look pretty chunky though, so that's something. You get Kill Team Pariah Nexus book and your objective cards. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how much this is, but it looks decent enough. I think the scenery is a little uninspired for my liking, to be totally honest with you, but there's a lot of it, so that's something, I guess. Now, next up, we've got Adeptus Titanicus. I said it would be great if we had an Imperator. That would be awesome. That would be brilliant. And for a moment, I thought that's what we were getting, because there was a picture of a gun in a knee. It's not that. This is the War Master Titan, which is bigger than a Warlord, smaller than an Imperator, and it is ugly. I love it. It's ugly as sin, but I really, really like it. I'm still not entirely sure why it's got a gun in one knee. The other one maybe does something important, like some sort of shield generator in the kneecap there, maybe? Possibly, who knows, but what an absolute beast. What an absolute monster this is. It's so good. It looks so good. It's all the right kinds of mad. That's the thing I love about Titans, just in general. They are insane creations. This is just another layer of mental, and I'm absolutely here for it. You got your missile launchers under the carapace on each side. You've got your battle cannon thingies sticking out on either side of the head. Two massive plasma something or others that look horrendous, and presumably would just wipe out an entire city in one shot. It's so good. It's so good. I really like it. The only thing I don't like is that random gun in the knee, which I just someone on Twitter said maybe that's to shoot knights in the face. It could well be. Just as long as they don't approach you from literally any other direction, and you'll be able to shoot them in the face. But yeah, weird, but the rest of it is class, and so I don't care. I don't care. Just don't put it on if you like. I will say that the two heads available, neither are 100% to my tastes, but it's fine. It's fine. It's just, I would maybe prefer something a bit more Warlord/Warbringer-esque, but they can't all have the same head. It would look weird. So, a minor complaint there. And just so you can see how big it is, you've got your Knight on the left, then you've got your Warlord, which is the current biggest thing you can get for Adeptus Titanicus, and then you've got the War Master, which is significantly larger. Now, the Warlord Titan is slightly bigger than an Armiger Knight. If you're talking like, if you want to know kind of rough scale compared to 40k models, it's kind of bigger than an Armiger Knight, but it's nowhere near as big as an actual Knight. It kind of sits in the middle of the two fairly comfortably. I reckon probably the War Master will be pretty close to the size of an Imperial Knight, actually. Like the full size one. I mean, not the one you can get for Adeptus Titanicus, because you can see what size that is. But yeah, I reckon probably about that size, maybe slightly shorter. Maybe slightly shorter, but pretty similar. Next up, we've got some Age of Sigmar in the form of Sevireth, Lord of the Seventh Wind, which is a fox firing a bow wearing a fox mask with cow horns. I mean, the Lumineth stuff is getting steadily more bonkers as it goes. Like, it's properly ratcheting up the mad. That quiver is magnificent. I've no idea how functional that is. You'll have to, the archers among you can tell me. But it looks great. Like, I do like overall what they're doing with this range. But it's just, I don't know what to expect. Like, I just don't know I've got no clue what's happening next. I'm expecting the unexpected, if that makes sense, but I still, between the kangaroo knights and the flying fox with a bow, what are they going to get next time? It was after the Lumineth stuff though that I really started to get excited because, you got some Daughters of Cain stuff. Well, I say Daughters of Cain stuff. The new Battle Tome, which is on the way, which is a shame because I'm pretty sure you've all just bought Marathi's book that has rules in it, and now there's a Battle Tome on the way. Interesting decision. There's some cool endless spells, which I do like a lot. The knives with the blood looks quality. That's really cool. That's also crying out for some conversion work, as is the snake, the blood snake. The hand holding the heart, I don't like it. I don't know what it is about it. I can't really pinpoint like an exact reason, but it just doesn't look great to me. Totally fine if it looks great to you, but yeah, I'm just not feeling that one. By contrast, the other two, I really like the look of and would actually get this box of these just to do stuff with the other models because they're both really cool. But the exciting bit really started with Diachasm, to be honest, because look at the Crimson Court. Look at these quality vampires. I'm loving this. Now, we've already seen this lass. We know we've already seen her. She still looks great. There is no disputing that for me. I I love this model. And they just made more of them. They just made more that look just as good. This is like, this box, like this group of 4, this is a 10 out of 10, perfect, would change nothing group of miniatures. That is rare. That is rare for me. You know at this point that I can be real nitpicky about some stuff. There are things that I like and things that I don't like, and there's some stuff that I would just want changing. We've already talked about the sister mech suit thing. You know that there's little details that quite often I just don't feel or would like to do something different with. Nothing like that with these. Every single one of these is just quality. The armour looks really, really good. It's really nicely done. It's not overly complex. It's got a bit of kind of fantasy-esque over the top to it, but it's not completely over the top. It's not completely stupid or like covered in like symbols or like iconography. It's relatively plain but really nicely shaped. The weapons all look really good. Again, they're pretty simple. They're not over the top. They're not like Stormcast-esque engraved hammers and the like. They are pretty rough and ready weapons that you would expect anyone to have. Also, this guy looks quality with his wings. Solid. They're just overall really, really good. Really good. I think they've absolutely knocked these out of the park. There is no part of these that I don't like. There is nothing, literally nothing, that I would change on any of these models. Just 10 out of 10 all round. 10 out of 10. 100% success with these, for me. Just quality. Absolute quality. And then, it got better, because we've got Warhammer Quest Cursed City, right? So, Blackstone Fortress is done, they're finished with that now. Now we've got Warhammer Quest Cursed City. So, you're going into the Cursed City of Ulfenkhan. You should go and watch the video, right? There'll be a link in the description to the article so you can watch the videos if you want to anyway. But, we've just seen quality vampires, and then they bring this lad out. They show us the vampires, and then they show us the vampire hunter. Look how good that is. Look how good that is. Again, I would change nothing. I would change nothing. Underslung stake launcher. Big old hammer for, presumably, hammering stakes into vampires. Just, he's got the dagger on the front, the sword on the back. The pack is a really nice detail, the way the sword's attached to that. The hat is so tall, so over the top. Absolutely love it. Just again, perfect. Just perfect. There's just nothing. There's nothing I would change. I cannot express to you how much I like this. Well, you probably get any idea, because I'm just gushing like an absolute river at this point. But I can't help myself. It just looks so good. So good. And then they showed this, and I was like, hell yes. Oh, 100% yes. That is the best. Oh my god. And then they showed this thing off. And a change of trousers was in order immediately. Look at the state of this guy. I don't mean that in a like, this is terrible way. I mean that in a, what a nightmare. What a horrific creation this is. I love it. I love it. This is the kind of thing that I would 100% try and just kit bash myself just because I want something horrific. It's so good. Like, the bladed shovel that is not really a shovel, but it's also kind of a shovel. The bones in that kind of iron crown thing attached to his head. The fact that just he can't even see. Can't even see out of it. But does he need to? Probably not. The hand hanging off his belt. The ripped cloth on that kind of like that skirt arrangement he's got going on. Really nicely done. You can see what looks like an entire 2 swords just speared through him. But are they proper swords? Not by the look of things. Not necessarily. They look like some sort of ornamentation, some sort of decoration, maybe some sort of cult thing that is created what could only be described as a horrific undead monster. It's so good. It's so... it's so good. I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I love it. I need it. That I didn't get Blackstone Fortress. I didn't buy it. It looked cool. There was some really cool stuff in there, but it just didn't. It didn't hit that nerve, you know. It didn't hit that kind of I must have this. It didn't quite touch the spot. This is it is tickling me in all the right places. It's so good. So good. I'm not even going to come off this. We'll take one more look at the vampires, and then we'll go back to him and end on him, because, my God. For this particular preview, the 40k stuff, we had one new thing, and then we had some stuff that we'd seen before. We knew how it was going to be released now, which is fine. The Underworlds, like the fantasy side of things, the Age of Sigmar side of things for this preview, has just blown me away. They're so perfectly done. So perfectly done. I'm gesticulating like an absolute madman. Yeah, there's just no complaint I can make. There's no criticism I can make. I like all of it. They all look grand. They all look so good. Look at it's so good. It's so good. But that lad, he's got to be this is like the standout for me. It's just one guy. He's probably just going to be some sort of like some rando idiot mook in the game that you just immediately kill, and that's going to be it. He's gone. I don't care. That is going to be terrorizing my D&D players for a start. It's just. Anyway, I'm going to stop gushing now. I'm going to go away. Let me know what you thought of your. What was your pick? What was your pick out of all this stuff that we've seen today? What was your pick for best thing you've seen? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I apologise for the incomprehensible noises towards the end of this, but I can't help myself. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click it if you don't want to. And if you would like to support the channel, you can do so using the affiliate link for Element Games, which you can find in the description. I'll leave it in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.